In a remote village in Aomori Prefecture, Japan, stands an old building that now stands as a lonely and fragile skeleton Sukasawa apartment. No one dares to approach it, let alone enter it. This place is known for its unimaginable hauntedness. They say the sound of children crying can often be heard from the dark windows. Black shadows often pass through the long, silent corridors, and the scariest thing is restless spirits stare from behind the windows, waiting for anyone who dares to come. Tonight, we will uncover the mystery behind Sukasawa apartment. Is it all just a legend, or is there a darker truth behind it? It all started in the 1970s. The Sukasawa apartment was built as a place for young families to live. The atmosphere was peaceful and filled with the laughter of children playing in the front garden. However, the happiness did not last long. One terrifying night, a man who was known to be kind and loving turned into a cruel figure. Without warning, he brutally killed his wife and 2 children before finally committing suicide in a room that is now known as the Forbidden Room. No one knows the exact reason, but since that bloody night, the Sukasawa apartment has become a terrifying place. Locals began to hear strange sounds, children's cries, women's screams, and footsteps echoing in the long corridor. Even though the building was empty, scary stories began to emerge. They say that the spirits of the family who died tragically are still trapped in the apartment, seeking justice, or perhaps revenge. Not a few people are curious and try to go inside. However, they always return with pale faces and indescribable fear. An old man who once lived near the apartment said, "One night when I was walking home, I saw the shadow of a little boy standing in the second floor window. His face was pale, his eyes were empty, staring at me without blinking. When I tried to clear my vision, the shadow just disappeared. Since then, I have never walked past that apartment again." Another story came from a group of teenagers who dared to go inside to test their courage. They heard footsteps following them in the corridor, even though there was no one there. One of them even saw the bedroom door open slowly, as if someone was inviting him in. When they looked inside, the room was empty, but the air inside felt cold and suffocating. They ran away in fear and swore never to come back again. Many paranormal researchers have tried to prove the truth of these stories. One of them was a researcher who recorded a video inside Sukasawa's apartment in the middle of the night. In his recording, he could hear the voice of a child singing in an eerie tone. Even though no one was there, the voice became clearer, as if coming from inside the walls. As the camera panned down a long corridor, a black shadow was seen standing still at the end of the hallway, staring directly at the camera. The shadow did not move, had no face, just empty darkness. After a few seconds, the shadow slowly disappeared. When the researcher returned and watched the recording, he had trouble sleeping and continued to feel that he was being followed by the dark shadow seen in his video. Several months later, he was found dead in his room with a horrifying expression. To this day, the cause of his death remains a mystery. Of all the spooky tales, there is one room that is most feared. Forbidden Room. It is said to be the room where the father ended his life after slaughtering his family. Since then, the room has been locked tightly and never opened again. However, many have reported seeing a shadow from behind the window of the room, a shadow that stands still, staring out with blank eyes. Those who approach the door of this room often hear a soft but distinct whisper, "Go, go," before it's too late. However, others have heard